What's good, party people? This is Voodoo in the Woods. I'm according to Woods, and he is former U of MMA champion Piastina Lobo, better known as Voodoo Maximus. And my goodness, because who could it be now? Who could it be now? It is UFC 284, emanating from the land down under, better known as the continent of Micmac. It's happening in Australia, in Perth, which is the western side of Canada. Australia. My God, fucking up my British
Ashraya
accent.
for beer.
You said that, but I automatically went to basketball. It was like, you remember that
Kangaroo
line?
Jack.
I don't know if I could utter that line. I mean, cancel culture. I don't want to get canceled, but yeah, Perth, Australia is where UFC 284 is emanating. We have a champion versus champion matchup with Islam Makhachev and Alexander Volkanovski. And then we have an interim featherweight title fight with Yair Pantera Rodriguez against Josh Emmett. This one, no Daniel Cormier, no Joe Rogan because it's an overseas show. And so obviously you're not going to get Rogan. He doesn't do the overseas shows anymore. But DC, it's pretty inconspicuous with his absence. But we have John Anik, Dominic Cruz, a former UFC champion, Dominic Cruz, and also former UFC champion Michael Bisping on the call. Obviously, Bruce Buffer's making the trip down there. So I guess there's a semblance of normality, right?
Yep. Hey, it is what it is. It's been what, a couple of years since the UFC has been to Australia. Every time they go to Australia, it's always a sellout crowd because them folks over there, you know the history. They love carnage, and whenever there's carnage in town, it's gonna be a sellout crowd.
Yeah, this is the first time that they've been back since what, Izzy, right?
Since Izzy, yep.
Izzy did the, I don't even know what the fuck he did,
I
but
know
he
he
did a
sold it
flip.
out.
He did a flip, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" Like whatever. And
Oh my
he's like,
god. He
he
did some
just,
kind of dance.
yeah, he just did a fucking flip. That's it. Like I'm used to fucking Matt Riddle in WWE, fucking kicking off his flip flops, and there's animatronic birds popping out of everywhere. Like, you get better with you. Like everybody's like, "Oh, he did a fucking Undertaker entrance one time." I was like, not really, because when the Undertaker, I think when Izzy fucking took his hat off, the lights went down versus off. It was weird. It was Undertaker adjacent, but yeah, well, whatever. But yeah, the first time that the UFC is back in Australia since the Izzy fight, and then their first trip to Australia in a big stadium was when Holly Holm knocked out Ronda Rousey for the UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship in the head kick heard around the world. My goodness, right? So they're back, and this is actually the first time that they're in Western Australia because they were in Sydney the couple times before, right? So this is a kind of a new venture, and again, the landmass of Australia is probably bigger than that of the United States, right? I feel like that's right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
only 30% of the country slash continent, because it's both a country and a continent, but only like 30% of it do people live. Everything else, like the middle parts, the innards, are pretty much uninhabited.
Pretty much. I
Yeah,
mean, much of Australia is wild, arid land. Just a little bit of it is what people occupy. But
yeah.
I wouldn't want to live there.
I mean, kangaroos and wallabies, I guess, right?
And dangerous spiders.
Fuck, I'm out at Vegemite. Fuck Vegemite, folks. I'm sorry. If you like Vegemite, you might lick a rock. You might like licking a rock. Because Vegemite is literally like the spreadable on toast version of a rock. Because I've licked on many rocks in my youth. Yeah, hell
I'm
yes.
like, no, thank you.
No, thank you. No, 100%.
No, thank you.
But I guess, I mean, let's get on to the first fight of the card, and that
Let's get it.
happens with none other than Zabira took hug off going up against Elvis Brenner, right? Tukov is 25-1, and he comes from Russia, as Elvis is 13-3, and he is actually, I believe, making his UFC debut. Yep, I'm right on that. He's a stalwart of Brazilian MMA, right? Competing in places like Predator FC, Imperial Fight, Future MMA, right? Mr. Cage 38, 39. That's where he basically uh, honed his craft, right?
Yeah.
His last win coming over, I mean, he's got two back to back submission wins, one by armbar, one by rear naked choke, and he's coming from the famed shoot shoot box academy under the great Diego Lima, right? So that's pretty credible, right? On the other side of the docket, Zubaira, we've talked about this guy as he was making his UFC debut. He is one of those Habib guys, right? That trains out of AKA in addition to his home gym in their
Toku
native
golf.
country, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and his last win, the last time that we saw him in the cage, was September of 2021, where he beats Hikaru Hamos. That's fun to say three times fast. Hikaru, Hamos, right? Um, but he beats Hikaru Hamos by unanimous decision. Um, he's kind of had an up and down career up to this point in MMA, or actually in the UFC, because he wins one, he loses one. He wins one, he loses one. But he's been a stalwart in the UFC dating back to UFC Fight Night 36 in
Mm-hmm.
2014. So he's been here for a while. What say you,
Yes,
Voodoo?
he has. Yes, he has. Yeah. This one right here, man. I don't know about you, man, but the Russian is 25 in the world, while the Brazilian is 41 in Brazil. I don't know what that's saying, man, but I think I'm gonna go with first of all experience. One, two, a Russian that chills with Khabib, and three, he's got a better record. So there you go. Tokugov, my call. Split decision.
I think I think the Brazilian in his UFC debut, I feel like they're an even keel, right? Because you can't say like, oh, Russia's like that close to Brazil. I mean, Russia's that close to Australia, and Brazil's that close to Australia. So this is literally like the middle part of their respective home countries, and I think it's
Neutral territory.
yeah, 100%. I feel like I feel like the Brazilian could, I wouldn't say rear naked choke, but at least win a split decision. I think he might have, even though Zubaira has a lot of experience, right?
Hmm.
But that's a lot of damage, right? And I'm gonna say that it's gonna be in my assessment, looking up and down the card with a few of these fighters here. Um, I don't know. I feel like an upset could be brewing on the horizon. So I'm gonna go with the Brazilian here.
Let's go. Let's
Yeah,
go.
go Elvis. Go Elvis. It's your birthday. It really isn't, but it's fun to say. That's what all the kids are doing. This
Mhm.
one I think is going to be a burn burner. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to be, you know, I'm, dude. I know that one of these guys, right? And
Yeah.
one of those guys is not Shane Young. Shout out to Shane Young, right? He trains with Izzy and all them, whatever. But Blake the Builder, right? Blake Builder. He is a former Cage Fury fighting champion. He is a stalwart of the MMA scene here in Southern California, training under the great Subfighter MMA with Adam Lynn. Man, like an animal.
Mm.
That's the dude I'm picking, and I don't want
Hmm.
to just crap on Shane Young. Let's talk about the rap sheet. of one Shane Young. 13-6. He's smoking for a reason. Uh, Again, a disciple of the city kickboxing gym, famed by is it Israel Adesanya, obviously the aforementioned Alexander Volkanovski. But here's the thing: Shane Young is on a 2-fight losing streak, right? That comes by way of Ludwig Klein, where he gets KO'd in the first round, and a unanimous decision loss against Omar Morales, right? He was
That's a
doing
long time
okay.
ago too.
Yeah, 100%. Um, so I don't know. Uh, Now let's go with Blake Builder, right? Blake Builder, 7-0-1 decision is El Animal, right?
Hmm.
He was just on the Dana White Contender Series where he stunned people with his rear naked choke win over Alex Morgan, right? At CFFC, where he won the title, uh, Hegi Valdo, Caravaggio, right? Beats by TKO in the third round, right? When all the
Yes.
chips are down, that's where he came to fight. He is somebody who has fought a lot of, not just a friend, but like fought a lot of the friends. We've got Julian Jekyll and Hyde Baez at CXF 13, heavy hitters. That was a majority decision win for one Blake Builder. He
Hmm.
faced and beat Darion Chapman, right? Like those are friends. Those are the homies. Those are some of your contemporaries in a lot of the cards that you have fought on Voodoo, right? So, I mean, total disclosure, that's it. I'm going with Blake the Builder. That's it, man. I don't care how it happens. It's just I'm just so I feel like it's been a long time coming for this dude. So I'm super excited that he makes his debut, right? Um, and his first official fight, and that's not the Dana White Contender Series, he gets an international fight. That doesn't happen every day. There are
Hmm.
guys and girls in the UFC roster that just primarily fight in Vegas or domestically, right? His
Hmm.
first shot in the UFC outside of the Dana White Contender Series, he gets a fight in a stadium in Australia. Fuck yeah.
A sold
Blake
out
Miller.
stadium.
Sold out. Sold out. And he faces a countryman where literally all of the pressure is going to be on Shane Young to,
Hmm.
basically show the Australian fighting spirit. And Blake Builder is going to fuck up their day. So I'm going with Blake Builder. No
So
disrespect
am
to
I. I'm
anybody
also
else.
going with Blake Builder. He is undefeated. He is an animal or the animal, and I think his grappling is going to pay dividends in this particular match. The grappling will take over. He will win by split decision.
Hell yeah.
Uh, he will be on the offense. I don't see a stoppage, but he will win
Okay. I like it.
convincingly.
Yeah. Fight Life Nation. Shout out to Fight Life Nation. The guys from City Kickboxing are some of the most loyal human beings ever. Anytime one of them fights, it seems like everyone else comes to support. Izzy is at all of Volk's fights and vice versa. No, that's
I agree.
100%. And, I don't think he gets a lot of credit, but that's something that Floyd Mayweather did. Where if he's fighting on top, a lot of the guys that he's training, are fighting the underneath fights so they can get a big payday on a big show. Because how else are you going to fortify your skills, right, under the bright lights? Then again, under the bright lights, sold out stadiums and what have you. And I feel like that's like old school boxing, right? Mentality. You're not taking just one of us; you're taking all of us, and what have
Hmm.
you. But
Hmm.
um, not to say it's not pronounced in MMA, but it's cool when it happens, right?
Agreed.
I mean, it's a throwback to how it was in the early days, right? Like, God, what's his name? Pete. He was like UFC heavyweight champion. Pete something. It starts with an S or whatever. But like he filled in. He was a Lions Den, Ken Shamrock trainee, right? I feel like it's Pete Spratt. I think that's it.
Pete.
But yeah, but he early day like either he was a
Maurice
tournament.
Smith.
No, Pete Spratt. Let me see. I feel like
A
that's.
champion?
I feel, yeah. I mean, I feel pretty right about that.
A champion named Pete. Is he a young man? He wore
No,
tennis shoes.
he competed in the UFC. Maybe he's not.
He kicked Mark Coleman in the face and knocked him out.
Yeah,
Is that the guy?
yeah. Spratt was then defeated by former UFC. Okay, so he didn't win the championship.
Okay.
He was offered a fight for the welterweight championship. I knew there was something about championship, but what I was trying to get to is, and maybe this is not even. Maybe I confuse, Pete Spratt for somebody else or whatever. But I know there was somebody who was of the Lions Den, right? And Ken Shamrock uh, got injured, couldn't whatever the fuck, and this guy filled in. He was one of the trainers, right? Um, I mean, trainees, I should say. And he fills in for Shamrock and ends up winning. And it ended up being like one of the biggest fights of his life and career. So, like, it's happened in the past, but it's still cool that City Kickboxing is, if you're if you're fighting one of us, you're fighting all of us, and everybody's going to get a paycheck, So I dig it. There's the synergy, what do you call it? The infrastructure for success, I would say, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If it goes right. But if somebody gets their fucking ass beat and, like 3 people win and then fucking, like what was it when Izzy lost, right? Like he was the only one that lost that, like from say kickboxing. Everybody else won, So I don't know.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to MMA math, and MMA math is never accurate.
You always get everything you want.
Hell no. Yeah, we've fucking grown adults in here. I feel like, right? But speaking of grown adults, man, this also I'm pretty excited, right? We've got Elise Reed, 6-2, former Cage Fury fighting champion, much like Blake Builder, right? And she's facing Loma Lukmanmi. I feel like I got that right. Yeah, Loma. The Loma is kick ass. So let's just take a look at the former CFFC champion, right? Loses her UFC debut to Sarge Eubanks, who was released from the company herself pretty recently, but then comes back, beats Corey McKenna, then loses to Sam Hughes, right? But then basically goes on to beat Melissa Martinez via unanimous decision. Now she's in there with Loma. Loma is mean. She's mean. She'll fucking head kick you in the face. I mean, the only losses in her like most recent like UFC most notable most visible fights, right? Is Angela Overkill Hill, right? Shout out to Angie Hill, because her grandfather and what is it, step grandmother were the first ones that had a detailed account of an alien sighting. So that's Angela Hill's grandfather. So that's a weird one that I found out through Joe Rogan. So there's that. But Angela Hill, in her own right, is a former Invicta world champion, right? And then when you're looking at Loma's other loss, none other than Lupita Godinez, and she is a former LFA champion, right? So she's only lost to champions when the big bright lights are on Loma. So fuck, and she's even beaten a former like Invicta great in Jin Frey. So I'm going with Loma. Probably going to have a unanimous decision, but and no disrespect to Elise, but Loma, Mari Hamasaki.
Hey, this particular match ain't gonna be no takedowns.
Fuck no.
You're not gonna find much takedown here because Elise Reed is a striker inside out. When you look at her record, all the losses have been by submission. She's not looking to go to the ground, which is why they set this particular match up. And look, Bumi, she's been working on becoming a complete fighter. She will stand. She will stand and bang. But if it gets too crazy, she will initiate that hip toss and try and steal some rounds. So it's gonna be action packed. They're gonna go at it. But I think Luke Boomy has more technical skills regarding striking. So I'm going for Luke Boomy as well.
Yeah, I could not agree with you anymore. There was like that era of like Sohee Ham and Loma. Obviously, one's Thai, one's Thai and one is Korean, but like just little, like dynamite. They just hit really hard for the stature that they didn't have. They hit like heavyweights to be flyweights. Just crazy. So yeah, man, I'm really excited for this one. I think this one's going to be a barn burner, and it's going to go all 15 minutes,
I
right?
see it going. I see it going the distance as well.
Yeah, 100%. Now here's one that I mean, two gentlemen that I am not too familiar with, admittedly, but that doesn't mean that they're any less ready for the stage because we have the American 12-4 John Don. I'm sorry, Don Shanis Shaninis
Shyness.
Shanis.
Shyness.
What does that like rhyme with?
Yo, anus.
Yeah, there we go. 100%. So Don Shane is 12-4 going up against the Australian, the 10-2 Jack Jenkins. So let's go with the American first. Shameless Don Shanis. It should have been Minus Don Shanis, but yeah, well, right? We can't always get what we want, like you just so eloquently said, right? But Shanis, this is his second fight in the UFC after basically staking his claim to glory in Cage Titans and FAC, but his UFC debut, he loses via guillotine choke to Sadiq Youssef. I feel like that's the one where was that the one where like his eyes were bulging out of his head?
I think so. I think that might have
Yeah.
been it.
Oh, it's not going to be good for Don Shadis, but I guess everybody's got a fucking puncher's chance, right?
It is what it is.
Yeah. So Jack Jenkins, 10-2, and I don't want to just write off Don Shadis, but yeah, I remember Sadiq with his fucking, like closed in ears and shit like that, just fucking choking the shit out of him. And oh man, even if I don't know the name Don Shadis, the imagery is emblazoned in my head, right? But this is actually the Australian Far Jack Jenkins. I don't know what that means, but this is his formal UFC debut. The first time that we saw him in a UFC octagon was a TKO win over Freddie Emiliano Linares. Fuck it, I'm just gonna go with Jack Jenkins. I feel like that's right. It'll probably have it happen TKO second round. That's what I feel. But you can disagree.
This one right here is first of all, they're 145ers, so they're gonna be all over the place. They want to make a point. You can tell based on where they are in their career. They're in front of a sold out crowd. More than likely, the pressure is more on Jack Jenkins because he is at home or close to home or whatever you want to call it. Um, Home field advantage. It's going to be tough. They're both going to go at it. They have more knockouts than submissions. So it's going to go down, but it seems Jack Jenkins has more ground experience. But we will see. So I'll split you 50 on this one, man. I'll go Jack Jenkins on this one. Split decision.
I think I did Jack Jenkins.
You had Jack Jenkins as well?
Yeah, I had him by 2K. Oh, God. Oh, where's my allergies getting all fucked up? I don't know. But yeah, Jack Jenkins, second round TKO.
Yeah, Jack Jenkins, man. Why not? No horse in this race anyway.
Right,
but
100%.
Jack Jenkins. That's all
Actually,
it's a
Mick
pick.
Mac said, "My dude, my Aussie will win." So I
Oh,
think
okay.
it's
There you
the
go.
consensus pick, even with Mick Mac.
There you go. Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday.
Yeah, 100%. Voodoo looks cold again.
Yep,
Uh,
yep. Freezing, man. Hey, it's cold out here, man.
yeah,
It's cold out here right now.
not as cold as what is it, Don Anus, Shanus Anus, famous Shanus Anus. What the fuck? Oh man, there's a word salad that's playing out of my head. It's not great. It's my birthday too. Happy birthday, Big Mac.
Hey, man, you should go. You should go to that UFC 284. You should go in person
I'm just saying.
and
But if he's
broadcast
in
live.
Eastern Australia, that's just like going like, yo, we should attend the fight in Maine just because it's like in the US.
Right?
Right? So I'm just saying, I'm not mad at you if you don't. Oh, funny thing about Micmac, right? So I posted a meme about there was an Outback car getting towed by another Outback car in the Outback parking lot out back.
Nah.
And then Micmac is like, what the fuck is an Outback? And I was like, they probably don't have,
You
everything is
know,
probably an
out
Outback there.
back.
Yeah. Oh, 3 hour flight, says Micmac, to Perth.
Ooh, 3 hour flight.
Yeah.
Damn. What an
Gilligan got
investment.
lots in the 3 hour tour, so we don't want to lose Micmac. So I'm just saying. Right? Right? So that'd be like what? Where can we go in 3 hours? I don't know. Cody, Wyoming? Oh shit, that's where Bischoff's at. Fuck it, let's go. I don't know.
Let's get it.
Like knock on the door. Hey, Mr. Bischoff. Eric, what's up? Easy E. I don't know. But yeah, 3 hours is a lot of time. So we're not mad at you if you do. But you picked Jack Jenkins, so fuck yes, right?
Yeah.
I came in and I heard anus, and I came came at the right time. Yes, Husky, yes, you did. How's it going, fellas? Dude, I'm excited. You're making me excited for the WWE 2K23 reveals. So shout out to Husky, and if you guys haven't already followed him on all of his social medias, I don't know why you wouldn't. It's Husky 518. Just saying. There you go. So in the fourth fight of the actually the fifth fight of the night, we have somebody that we're pretty familiar with. One Jamie Malarkey, 15-5, going up against the I know the flag, right? That's where Santiago Ponce BBO is from, right?
Yep, Ponzinibbio. Is it Argentina or something
Argentina.
like that?
Yeah, there you go. So the Argentinian is Francisco Prado, right? This is Prado's debut. Fought all over the Argentinian scene. Made his home in Samurai Fight. Yeah, Samurai Fight House, which is weird if you think about it. Samurais fighting in a house. What the fuck does that look like? I don't know, but apparently Francisco Prado figured it out and came out, and now he's in the UFC. So fuck yeah. And that deserves a sneeze. My goodness. Okay. So on the other side of it, we have one Jamie Malarkey. And his fight style isn't Malarkey. He is
That's Malarkey.
He's a bad motherfucker at 15-5, right? His last win, though, is a pretty good win. Split decision over one of the, I think he's all-time great that hasn't been crowned a UFC champion is Michael Johnson. Fuck yeah, right? Win over Carmen Worthy, Devontae Smith, but he lost to the tarantula, Jalen Turner, right? So, fuck it, man. I feel like third round TKO, Jamie Malarkey over Francisco Prado. But what say you, Voodoo?
Well, the not Brazilian, the Brazilian, the Australian, the Argentinian is going to. First of all, he's a complete fighter. Based on his record, he's a complete fighter. He will knock you out if he gets the opportunity, but path of least resistance is his way. He likes to grapple and jujitsu folks to oblivion, and Malarkey just simply needs to defend the takedown, defend the attempted submission, and keep the fight standing, and he could get a knockout. Um, I'm not sure if Malarkey will be able to. I mean, the young man is undefeated, but he's number one in Argentina. What's the competition like in Argentina? How many great fighters come from Argentina besides Ponzabibio? Can you name another one? Exactly. I can't either. So, Jamie Malarkey.
Madonna.
Who?
Madonna.
Madonna?
Didn't she?
Like a virgin, Madonna?
No, she don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is, I would never let you. Right?
That's the all-time champion, huh?
Did you see her at the Grammys?
Well, unfortunately, in the UFC, you can't sing your way to victory. You gotta fight your way to victory. And it looks like this fella here, what's his name? Malarkey. I think Malarkey will be able to keep the fight standing, stay away from getting choked out or submitted, and let his hands go. I think he'll be able to let his hands go and squeeze out a split decision victory. I'm going Malarkey. Francisco is gonna catch his first loss. That's what I'm thinking.
I think that's a consensus pick. But I mean, since we're Micmac says Messi.
Bring Messi in the cage and I'll whoop his ass.
Wait, who's this Messi guy? Is there a
Messi is some kind of soccer player. Bring him in the cage and I'll beat his ass for free.
Okay, but I'm all like, is there a cleanie? If this guy's Messi, there's got to be a cleanie,
straight
right?
Messi, man. That dude is messy as hell.
Also Messi, right? Because we brought up one. I don't know how to bring this up. I guess I just have to do this. I don't have to, and I don't mean it in bad taste or whatever. But have you seen Madonna lately?
Who?
Madonna.
Madonna, she looks like shit.
Oof.
All the plastic surgery, like, why wouldn't she just grow up, man? What's wrong with her?
She's 64. She's 64.
I know, and she's still shooting her face full of plastic.
I mean,
whatever that thing is.
I don't know. Yeah. Greatest soccer player of all time.
I don't think so. Pele? Not the greatest soccer player of all time. That's Cristiano Ronaldo.
Wait. Alexi Lalas? That's a person.
Alexi Lalas. What about Pele, man?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Ronaldinho, Shishinho.
Dude, they're fucking those guys. They're doing Pele shit in wrestling. There's a Pele kick. And then
right? Ain't no Messi kick.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, bend it like Beckham. There's a guy who fucking spent like $250,000 to look like David Beckham. He looks like fucking Sam Smith.
Yeah, I saw that post. You posted.
People, why?
Hey, he looks like Beckham after he gains weight.
Dude. I had this thing, it's like, you know how there was that movie Bend It Like Beckham?
Yeah.
That dude was bending like bacon.
He was bending all the bacon.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so you say Malarkey?
Yep.
All right. That's a consensus pick, folks. Just saying. So another Brazilian versus Australian matchup that Voodoo's going to be like, they're Nigerian. You're the Brazilian, the Argentine. Side. Oh, that's so great. That was great. I was like, he probably has a globe just like spinning it. Yeah, he's from fucking
wherever it lands, Bolivia. Brother. Wherever it lands, who gives a damn?
Bolivia, there he is. Yeah. Oh, and I should go and knock on Eric's door when I'm over there one day. I won't confirm nor deny if that's a good or bad idea. I'm just saying that you might want to figure that out. And he's on like 15. He's on like 14 million a month. Like sitting on it?
With all that $14 million a month, he still wouldn't last 5 minutes with me in the cage. It is
Wait,
what it is.
wait, he's sitting on $14 million a month?
I guess he's making $14 million a month.
Oh, because I was like,
And
man,
with
his
all
shit's
that
a
money, I'll still whoop his ass
there
for
you go.
free.
There you go.
For free. I
He
wouldn't even
just
have to train.
he
I'll
just
beat
won a
his ass
World
for
Cup.
free. He just won a World Cup. Fuck a World Cup. I'm
Ooh.
sorry. Fuck soccer. That's how I feel about it.
Ooh, Jesus.
Soccer players are a bunch of pansies. You know what I mean? When
I've
a
seen
man
Joaquin
has to
Noah play
fake,
basketball.
when a man has to fake an injury so he can get an upper hand in a sport, you know what I mean? That's where I lose all respect. That's why I can't stand LeBron James. Big, giant, bitch ass, piece
Ooh.
of shit. That's all he is. He ain't no
Ooh.
king. He's a piece of shit. LeBron
Ooh.
James is a piece of shit. When a big, giant, 6'7", 250 pounds, solid muscle, solid this, $1 million a year on his body and all that, and he fakes his injuries and he hit me. He cries like a bitch. Oh, he hit me. So he can get an advantage. So he can get some free shots. I can't stand basketball and soccer for that reason. I can't stand it. I can't stand all the fakery and the bitch in them. There's too much bitch in them. You know, it's too soft. It's too modern day. Let me stop before I get in trouble.
No, keep on going. Fuck it. Tell us how you really feel. Which Mick Mac says he sent me a DM, so we're gonna pull that some bitch up right now. Oh Jesus Christ! It's okay. I mean, Mick Mac
Is it
does not
doable?
disappoint. When he
Is
sends
it
me a
doable?
DM, it's in his words. It's Eric Bischoff with plastic surgery. So you guys ready for this? Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, fuck it.
Whoa.
Look
Luda
at
Chris
this.
Jericho. Anime Eric Bischoff. Oh shit.
Oh my god, it's so good. And he said, "Yeah, I'll DM you." Yes, that's what we just saw. His address is online, and yeah, the wins. What about the NFL all pads and helmets? Yeah,
Hey, at least those guys hit each other. At least those guys, when they hit each other, they knock each other out.
Husky puffer.
You know what I mean? There's nothing fake about that one.
No, I mean, no, but I mean, he's used to like. First off,
Compared
like,
to rugby, I understand what he's trying to say. Compared
yeah.
to rugby, the rugby folks don't wear pads. You know what I'm
Also,
saying?
have you
But
seen Australian rules football?
there's rugby, right?
No, there's rugby and there's Australian rules football. Make that like educate us. I saw a clip
Like our
of it.
football,
That
Australian
shit
way.
looks like MMA. Goddamn, on
What?
a field. They just beat the shit out of each other just for the fuck of it. I don't even know. At least like with rugby, right? Like you're running one way, but you pass the other way off your side and shit like that. No, these
Right.
motherfuckers just beating the shit out of each
I gotta look that up.
other. Australian rules football, man. that's that's some shit, dude. Yep. Oh, okay. 100%. Let's see if I mean, I don't know if I can play it. Oh. Yeah, I can't play it. I can't
Can you
because
play
it's on
without the
YouTube.
audio?
Yeah.
Play
Yeah.
without the audio.
It's no, can we?
Without the audio is okay.
I don't know. I don't want I don't want to fucking jeopardize the channels. But yeah, he showed me like a compilation of like Australian rules football and the garb. I mean, I can show the picture. I feel like that's good, right? Like I wouldn't get in trouble for that. Let's see. Share screen, tab, and got it. Okay, so here we go. This big Luke Longley looking motherfucker. This is. I don't
This
know
is
if he's
rugby,
really
ain't it?
7 foot tall.
Ain't this called rugby?
No, it's Australian rules football. Fuck it, that's it. That's not rugby. Yeah, they just and they do it so gracefully. They fucking pirouette and fuck each other up. It's wild. It's wild. Is what I'm saying. So shout out to Australian rules football. There's a player from the AFL, Australian rules football. Oh, what the fuck did I do? There we go. Australian rules football from Texas. So even the fucking Texans are like, fuck, we'll fuck somebody up. And the video and compilation he sent is from the 70s and the 80s. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, I saw how grainy it was. It better be from the 80s.
Dude, some motherfucking, what is it? Dagestani footage?
That shit was on
like
tape.
Like Habib trading videos is on fucking Betamax and shit. Shout out to the evil Abe Lincolns, yo. Fucking up everybody's day. But yeah, we got Clayton Rodriguez 7-2 against the 13-6 Australian Shannon Ross. So let's go with the Australian. The Turkish Delight, even though he hails from Australia, is his last win was at UAE Warriors, right? Which has a lot of top level competition, right? He won a unanimous decision win over Donovan Freelo. Not my brother Bilo. That's different. I'm gonna bring out Borat anytime I get a chance, so fuck it. But the first time that we saw him in an actual octagon was a TKO loss to Vinicius Salvador. Salvador. Why did I
Salvador.
I dyslexed the fuck out of my
Salvador.
It's like El Salvador, but I fucked it up. Well. Anywho, on the other side, Cleedson Rodriguez is 7-2, right? So not a lot of experience, but when you break down the win ratio, whatever, these two are evenly matched, I feel. Right?
These guys are little dudes, man. At 125 pounds,
they're
flyweights.
Yeah,
they're gonna be bouncing all over the place, hitting each other with crazy shots.
Dude.
I'm not gonna. I don't foresee great skill here. I see somebody landing a lucky shot and knocking the other one out. I can go 50-50 with you on this one, man. I just don't.
Fuck it.
I don't see greatness. I don't see greatness.
AR.
Who you got?
Cleetson Rodriguez. That's what I got.
Cleeton. Okay, I'll take Shannon. Shannon Ross, the Turkish delight, the ladies' delight.
There you go. You got to watch the video later. And what is a VHS player? Hey, if you got Betamax, you got to know what the fuck. Stop calling us old. You know
that
exactly
Canadian.
What the fuck
I mean, not
is.
Canadian. That football. That was recorded on VHS, brother. That's why it was so grainy. Oh man, remember those VHS
Alaskans?
Tapes, man?
AFL, Alaskan Football League. Appalachian Alpaca Football League. Fuck it. There's the alpaca spit in your fucking eye, and then you got to run with the ball and beat the shit out of each other. Anytime it's beating the shit out of each other, I feel like.
Hey, that shit look like that basketball they play in Dagestan.
Dagestan ball?
Yeah, that basketball that they play. They're all tackling each other instead of dribbling. They're traveling with the ball. I think it's like a national sport over there. It's actually very serious.
Well, Like when you said the Dagestani basketball, I was like, Dagestan ball,
Yeah.
Istanbul, Dagestan ball, Istanbul. Maybe they fucking got the name of the Turkish city from the fucking Dagestani ball. That's what I'm saying because they sound similar. Let me get into some fucking hot water, right? Because like it might have been like fucking war torn enemies forever,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just linked them all together. So shit, I don't know. But what I do know is you picked Shannon Ross, I
Yep.
picked Clayton,
Yep.
and something's gonna hacken.
Yep.
So
And then we move on to the next one.
yeah, it's somebody that we've seen ply his trade.
Melsik.
Yeah,
Badabari.
yes, sir.
Bagdadatsari. Sarian.
Yes, 7-1 is the gun.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
The guy's
we
familiar.
can,
We've seen him in person,
yeah,
haven't we? This
100%. We've
fella.
seen him in person,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. We've seen him fight
Uh,
a few times in person.
yeah, he was at Alex F1, Lights Out fighting, Extreme
Yep.
Fighting 1, right?
Yep.
Gladiator Challenge. He fought Jay White, not the fucking Switchblade from New Japan, another Jay White.
I think we
But
saw him fight Art and Hernandez.
yes, we were both there for that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So yeah, man, Melsick. Oh, congratulations to Melsick. He just had his first baby. So
Oh,
shout out to
congrats.
that. So he's got another reason to fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I know how I'm gonna pick, but on the other side, we've got the Australian. He's Filipino Australian, and the way that you know it because his nickname is Kuya, which is like Big Brother, you know. But Joshua Kuya Kulibao, right, with the biggest goddamn belt you've ever damn said. Whatever the fuck DFC is, you see this fucking belt? Jesus Christ. That's like So I Married an Axe Murder, the Mike Myers film, right?
Yeah.
And he's all like, Pete, your head so big, get your fucking head off. Hey. Yeah, that's the belt of Josh Kulibau. Holy fucking shit. Look at that. Look at that. All
That's
of
a
its
big
glory.
ass ugly belt.
That's why would you want to fight with that? I'd fight
Is that
to
a
get
cobra?
that
Is
off
that
of
a
me.
cobra enshrined on there?
No,
Oh, is
it's
that a
a
diamond? I can't
diamond.
even tell.
It's a diamond. It's a diamond.
That's one
It's pretty
ugly ass
fucking good.
belt.
Ghastly. But yeah. So Kuya, right? Former DFC champion. We've seen him in the cage. His last win was against Sung Woo Choi, split decision win. Before that, unanimous decision over Shaylan Nurnan Bikeke. Yeah, no, I added another keke on there. I feel like Shaylan Neuter Dan Bikeke. BK. Oh, Shaylan. There you go. Third time's a charm. Shaylan Nurdan Beke. Fuck yes, I got it. Phonics, help me out. You know me. You know the story. Steve Coffin will win $1,000 if the Eagles win the Super Bowl. So his shot. Okay.
Who's Steve Kaufman?
Steve Kaufman is the producer of After 83 Weeks, the Click This podcast with Sean Oliver and Kevin Nash. He's the impresario of all things.
Right.
That's the good brother there. Hell yes. So, are the Eagles even playing? I don't even know what the fuck is happening.
The Eagles are going to be playing the
Washington.
No, not Washington.
Baltimore.
The guy. Ah, man. The Chiefs. The Chiefs. They're playing the Chiefs.
You sounded like fucking what's his name? God, Hanato. God, yeah, fuck. Oh. Oh, God,
you know the guy.
The guy.
You know the guy. The Chiefs. The Chiefs. The Chiefs. They play the
The
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
They're gonna
And
play the
you
Chiefs.
know the fucking thing that
You know,
flies.
the Chiefs.
Philadelphia, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They play
shut
the
up.
Chiefs. Philadelphia versus Kansas City.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like Melsick, right? Like that's what
Um,
we're going, right? Home
one thing
team.
we know about Melsick is
He beats
he
the
is
shit out of people.
he brings the pressure. He
Oh
brings the
yes.
pressure. Joshua, you know, he's from a place where they like to throw hands, so this could actually be to his advantage if he sticks to his boxing. If he utilizes excellent boxing, you know, occasional leg kicks here and there just to, you know, slow down the young man. But the pressure is gonna be full steam ahead, and he's just gonna have, yeah, he might close in the distance, but the kid is not really a grappler like that. Melsick, he will come seeking and destroy, heat seeking missile. He's gonna come and try and take heads off. If Joshua can, you know, utilize excellent boxing and head movement, I think he should be fine with just footwork and head movement. He should be fine. But will he be able to execute excellent footwork and excellent boxing? That's the question. With excellent boxing, he can win. But will he have that? I don't know.
I don't know. I see a fucking funeral happening for Kuya, yo. I, yeah, the fucking set phases is strong. He's gonna Melsick the gun is gonna fucking lock his scope, and there goes Kuya's brains all over the fucking Australian canvas, bro. Like,
The only thing
I
this Kuya fella is bringing to the table is UFC experience. He's been in
yes,
there with Jalen Turner, you know what I mean? Charles Jourdain in the draw. I mean, these are high level dudes. That guy you were trying to shoot, whatever, you know, Wu Choi. These are very very good fighters, and Melsick is new to the UFC. Yeah, he's fought what 2 3 times, but experience on the highest level always matters most. Experience on the highest level. So, will he get caught? That's the question. Will Joshua get caught? Will his footwork be on point? I don't know. I I wanna pick the dude that we know, but at the same time, Joshua is 38 in the world, you know, and Melsick is 52. He's up and coming, while Joshua is more established. I think that experience is gonna play a key role in how this fight goes. So I'll split you, man. I'll split you and go Joshua Kulibao. Kulibao, Kulibao, Kulibao. I got Kulibao.
while you're at it, who's the guy that I was talking about? Shule Lali Lali.
Yeah.
Really? I
What
thought
was
you
that
were
dude's
singing
name
like
again? What? Shailan. Shailan.
I thought you were
Shailan
thinking fucking
Nurdanbek.
Mandarin, yo.
Shailan Nurdanbek. Oh, I remember this guy, the Wolverine. He has
Granky.
no striking whatsoever. I don't know how he knocked so many people out, but his striking is whack. But he's got great grappling. He's got excellent grappling, but his boxing is whack. Shulilai. But I'll
So,
split you. I'll split you on that one. I'll go Kulibao.
okay.
Split
So
decision.
I mean, the world of Micmac
Mm-hmm.
never stops turning because we've got another video for it. Oh wait,
Oh,
shit. Let's see. We're going.
what's wrong with these people?
I mean,
Hey, does he know that color is poisonous? They don't know, huh?
I feel like
Those dyes that make those chips and those fast whatever those the dye that makes it that distinct color is poisonous. Why do they allow those things to be sold?
so. I remember going to a local market here in Southern California when my youngest son was pretty little, like fucking in diapers, walking, but in diapers and whatever. And there was a Cookie Monster cupcake, right?
Mhm.
It's Cookie Monster, so it's fucking blue, right? So he eats it, whatever. Then it's time to change his diaper. And wouldn't you know who won the fucking pony? My little son's shits look like Play-Doh.
All blue.
All blue. Blue dabba dee baba da. Like a fucking Blue Man Group. Like, it was pretty bad. So if they don't know what the fuck, I feel like they're just gonna get like osmosis. It's fucking Darwinism. Like somebody's just they're not gonna make it to the end. So if they, the fucking shared something the other day about like this girl trying to like whatever and show off a gun and whatever, and she damn near grazed the yeah. So I'm just like those people that make those decisions, they don't make it to the end, or they make it to the end a lot quicker than the rest of us. Not everybody fucking survives. No, not everybody has the intellect to make it to I don't know, nobility or whatever the fuck. So I'm just saying.
Natural selection.
Hell yes. This is a fucking Sean O'Hare's move when he was you remember Sean O'Hare from WCW?
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was his like finisher, the natural selection.
Mm-hmm.
He was either that or Sean
jacked dude too.
Yeah. Dude, R.I.P. Sean Stasiak, man. He was big as shit and could do swanton bombs. Just for the fuck's sake.
Remember Adam Bomb?
Oh, of course. That was my dude. We had the same name. Yeah. I wanted to catch one of them fucking footballs from 3 Mile Island.
Hey, my guy, one of my guys back then was what's that dude's name? He was like, Tanaka, I'm gonna break your damn back. Feel the power. Take the bomb. Yeah.
Wait.
He's
Tatanka?
dead. Huh?
Wait, he was talking shit to Tatanka?
Tanaka. Him and Tanaka used to go at it.
Tanaka was a part of Orient Express.
This was way back in ECW. They used to go at it in ECW.
Oh, Masato Tanaka.
Yeah, that guy.
Wait,
the guy that used to fight was Mike Awesome.
Yeah, Awesome Bomb.
Mike Awesome.
Fuck yes.
Mike Awesome was badass.
Dude, did you know he was Hogan's nephew?
No, I had no idea.
So Mike Awesome and what's the other guy? Horace Hogan? Horace Boulder or whatever the fuck.
I remember that guy.
Yeah,
those two didn't go far.
Were Hogan's nephews, both of them.
The Hogan fella, I remember him, but I didn't know Mike Awesome was related to Hogan.
Yeah, I mean they never really acknowledged it, and they different. It's just like fucking Joe Rogan is first cousins with the guy from My Chemical Romance. Actually, it's both the guys, Gerard and Mikey Way from My Chemical Romance. They're supposedly Joe Rogan's first cousin, but they ain't never met at all. So there you go.
Yeah, shit happens.
Yeah, sometimes shit happens. Like literally, shit. Like my kids blew shit after eating a fucking blue cupcake. But I digress. Moving along, we've got. I think there's some big boys here because we've got one of my favorite.
Baltic Gladiator.
Modelo Bukkake. Actually, Modestas Bukakas, which is exactly what I said, but different, against Tyson Pedro. 13-5 is Modestas, right? The Baltic Gladiator looks like a fucking yoked up, tall ass Rory McDonald without the weird eye, like the dead eyes and shit like that. But last fight against Chuck Campbell in Cage Warriors, Oh yeah, fuck. He he left and then came back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he lost 3 in a row.
right. And then he fucking went to Cage Warriors, and then unanimous decision over Lee Chadwick, and then a KO in the fourth round. That was a title fight, right? Against Chuck Campbell, right? And then now he's back to fight Tyson Pedro, who I believe he also had a sabbatical away from the UFC, because I remember at UFC 209, sitting with his family, when I was like sitting with Albert Morales' family and coach, well, not coaches, but family and Jason House and everything, when that was going down at UFC
Mm-hmm.
209 at T-Mobile or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and how elated, because I believe on that night Tyson Pedro beat the shit out of his opponent. Yes, Paul Craig. Yeah, it was a first round KO over the Bear Jew, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
happened at UFC 209. Lost to Ilir Latifi, right? But there
Mm-hmm.
was he just, it wasn't that he got released. He just didn't fight for a while because he beats Paul
Injury.
Craig at UFC 209, then loses a unanimous decision to Ilir Latifi, beats Sapar Beg,
Mm-hmm.
Safarov.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like something a fucking 3-year-old would say. Sparbag Frefarov. Fuck. But beaten by Kimura, right? Then loses to OSP. Shogun loses by KO. And then comes back last year in April to beat Hurricane Ike Villanueva as
Hey
well
man, hey
as,
man, what's going on there, man?
yeah, and Harry Hunsucker, right? So, yeah, now he's in there with Manelo Bukaki.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm going with
It's
the
gonna be
fucking.
fireworks, champ.
I feel like I'm going with
These dudes are
Tyson
gonna
Pedro.
bring the heat.
Yeah, I'm
They're
going with
gonna
Tyson
bang.
Pedro.
Yeah,
You got
I see a
Bukaki?
possibility of knockout of the night in this particular matchup.
Yeah,
Somebody's gonna get paid.
it's one of these two, right? Because there's
Yep.
a heavyweight fight following it,
Mm-hmm.
so one of those two, fucking somebody's gonna get their clock cleaned, right?
Yeah, these two fellas, man, they got something to prove.
Hell yes,
One's been gone for a long time, and the other one is making a return. Bukaki
yes.
should be looking to knock somebody's head off.
Oof,
You know, he
that's
should be. He should be.
you said that together.
If he's trying to establish himself upon his return, he should
That
be looking to take somebody's head off. While Tyson Pedro, being the Aussie that he is, should be looking to smack somebody real good as well. So I
yeah,
see a possibility of a knockout of the night type thing. Will there be top of the line technique? I don't see top of
no,
the line technique from these two fellas, but it's gonna be exciting.
yeah.
I do see that.
Hell yes. Yeah, we're all in for excitement. So shout out. But so you said uh Bukakis?
We can flip a coin for this one, man. It doesn't
Okay.
even matter to me.
All right.
Who
Okay.
you
I'll
got?
take it. I got Pedro.
Okay, I'll take Bukaki.
Okay.
Let's
Right
go.
on. I love that.
Let's go.
You said Bukaki
Let's
and
go.
taking a head off. I love
Let's
it in
go.
the same
Let's go.
sentence. I dig it.
Let's do it.
But as we move to the main card, we have Jimmy Crute, 12-3 against Alonzo Menifield, right?
Okay.
Jimmy
Okay.
Crute, 12-3, and his last two fights are actually not wins; they're losses. One was
Mm-hmm.
that leg stoppage injury to Anthony Smith, and then
Mm-hmm.
he gets KO'd in the first round by Jamal Hill, right?
Who's
Now,
Jamal Hill again?
UFC champion, right?
Exactly. So he's
Uh-huh.
losing to title challenger, the current champ. He knocked out Bukaki before.
Yeah, and he came
Mikhail
over to Omalenchek.
which is a very good
I
fighter.
feel like that's it. Yeah,
You
but lost
know
to
what I mean?
Krikanov.
Since he's been in the UFC, he's fought nothing but tip top talent. Sam Alvey, Paul Craig, Du Huang. Come on, man. He's just on a whole nother level, man. Like every time I see him, he's getting better. Yes, he's lost 3 in the UFC, 2 straight. But look at the people he's losing to. Now, when he fights this Menafield guy, I truly believe if he doesn't get starched, I see him beating Menafield just by outboxing him, out MMAing him. That's what I see. I see him getting out MMA'd. I see him controlling the ring, controlling the distance, throwing very good leg kicks, strikes to the top, hitting all 3 spots: top, mid, head, body, and leg. I see him diversifying his portfolio. Jimmy Crute is the one to win this match in my book. That's my pick.
Okay. Now, on the other side, man, Alonzo Menafield, he in his own right has pretty well. First off, he's got explosive power. I mean,
Yes,
I
he
think
does.
it was the first time that UFC came back, during the pandemic to what is it, Jacksonville, Five Star Arena, and that was his fight that night. Was like the first time people were like, "Oh, this is what shit sounds like without a crowd," right?
Mm-hmm.
And the fucking him and his Alonzo and his opponent, who is equally as just fucking huge, just like a giant of a man, they're hitting each other so hard that like, man, it kind of made me sick a little bit, man. Like that shit, the thuds are not supposed to happen that audibly, but that's what they did on that night. And that was oh yeah, that was what's no, it wasn't William Knight, but almost like a William Knight esque person. I feel like he's either Devin Clark or OSP, but they just look like fucking people cast out of granite. It's like a creative player when all the fucking specs are up on a video game and shit like that. Like they're rated 99 if it was like a WWE video game, right? So just saying, they look like 2 superheroes, and then the flaps that they were hitting each other with, my God, it was just sickening. So
Bombs.
yeah, and Alonzo Menafield is atomic for a reason. He's got scary fucking power. That's why, even though, right, home country guy, but the fucking power of Menafield, man, if he fucking touches you, you go night night. So I'm going with Menafield for sure.
Okay. I see Menafee getting submitted actually, but we'll see.
Fair enough. But speaking of fair, let's look at the UFC matchmakers when they made this fight, because we
fair
got
fight.
2 big fucking guys. Parker Porter, 13-7 against the 5-3 Justin Tafa. Let's look at Parker Porter because he has just that much more experience, right? 13-7, but with that, he's almost at a 50-50 record. He's pretty damn close, right?
Mm-hmm.
So his last fight was in 2022, May of 2022, where he gets fucking choked the fuck out by Jonathan Almeida, right?
Yes.
The rest of it, except for Josh Parisian, Chase Sherman, Alan Badeau, right? All unanimous decision wins. He hasn't had a finish in the UFC.
Okay.
So there's that, right?
Okay.
On the other side, we have Justin Tafa.
Yeah, we do have Justin Tafa.
I backed out the wrong tab. My bad.
Oh, okay, I was like, we do have Justin Tafa.
Yeah,
and Justin Tafa ain't gonna do shit because
Really?
he ain't gonna do shit. Justin Tafa ain't got no ground game. This other fella, Parker Porter, he's got decent ground game. He understands clinch. He understands double leg, take you to the ground, hold you to the ground. He understands how to center his weight on his opponent. Justin Tafa is gonna be looking to slug, and he won't have it. Right? Once Parker puts his body on him and he, makes him work a bit, he's gonna get tired. Justin Tafa's gonna get tired, and he's gonna, get taken down, and he's gonna get grounded. Referee stoppage. That's how Parker Porter wins this one. But Tafa does have the equalizer. He only needs to land one, but I just don't think he'll be able to. Unmute.
There you go. When was the last time that we saw Justin Tafa in the UFC octagon?
The last time he got his ass whooped.
Did he?
I believe so, yeah.
No, because he fucking head kicked KO Henry Hunsucker.
Who's that? Who's Henry Hunsucker?
Doesn't matter, right? You said he's got power in his hands. He got fucking power in his fucking feet.
Hey, man, that shit sounds like luck.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Does he... Like, when you get a heavyweight that whatever and he's throwing head kicks and shit like that, I don't care if if you're looking at it in video game terms, he depletes all of his fucking health. He fucking landed it. That's what I'm saying.
True, he did land it.
All it did is like, what, 90, 120 seconds, 150 seconds, right? To fucking get it done, but he got it done. So
unfortunately for him, he's facing someone who is more well-rounded than he is. And that's going to be, that's going to be the deciding factor.
He's Aussie, they're Aussie. I feel like the crowd will take him to...
Oh, the crowd can't go in there and fight for him, brother. Okay. They can. Once that cage door shuts, you're on your own. The only person that can save you is that referee. But he doesn't come in until you're getting your ass whooped. Then he comes to save you. None of them people yelling outside the cage. Hey, man, you know what's crazy, man? While you're fighting and you're in that fray, you don't even really hear those people, man, because you're so worried about not getting your head knocked off your shoulder. You don't even really hear what those people are saying anyway. So Tafa, they're going to yell and then they're going to say this and say that. If you spend your time listening to that, to what they're saying, you're going to get your ass whooped. And I already think you're going to get your ass whooped anyway. So, eye on the prize, Tafa.
All right. Tafa is the king of the pack. Apparently not according to Voodoo. Jesus Christ. All right. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I still got Tafa. Maybe it's this the Melanesian Polynesian shit, but yeah, fucking home team. But speaking of somebody who is fighting for the home team, we got 13-2 Jack Della Maddalena going against the rude boy Randy Brown, who's 16-4. So let's look at the experienced Randy Brown first, right? Rude boy is on a 4-fight winning streak. Those 4 fights are a one-arm rear naked choke win over Alex Oliveira, unanimous decision win over Jared Gordon, split decision over Chaos Williams, and a unanimous decision win over Francisco Trinaldo, right? So on the other side of the docket, we have Jack Della Maddalena, right? That's a fun one to say 3 times fast. I'm not gonna bother you with it. But he is a former Eternal champion. That just sounds cool to say. Yeah, but he is on fuck. This dude hasn't lost since 2016. Now you're like, oh, they're not familiar names or whatever. But when you get to like,
I know this guy. I know him very
Danny
well.
Roberts?
Jack Della, whatever. I know him very well.
Jack Della Reese.
Yeah, I know him.
Touched by an angel.
I'm very familiar. There's this the nose. I remember his nose, and I remember he's good. He's very good. He's always in tip-top shape. His pressure is always on point. His striking is nice. But the person that he's going to be going up against he's got all the reach advantage. He's also a very good striker. So I see this fella Jack moving in, closing the distance, taking away all the reach advantage, dirty boxing, taking him to the ground if he can. It's going to be an ugly match. Don't expect a striking war. It's not going to happen that way. Don't expect a striking war. It's going to be a grappling fest, because this is the only smart thing to do when you go up against someone that's so tall and so dominant with their striking. Randy Brown is a dominant striker. He's He's very confident in what he does and how he does it. Um, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. If Jack brings a fight to him, we have a chance of seeing fight of the night with these two. We have a good
Okay.
chance of seeing fight of the night. You're gonna see high level striking when they're standing. However, most of this fight will be in a clinch or underground.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Okay. I dig it. I fucking dig it. Hell yes. But
But
you
who
know
do you
what?
pick though?
Oh, I'm gonna go with Rude Boy.
Okay. You know what? The Jack fella,
Yeah.
he's so good. I'm willing to split you 50-50 on
Okay.
this one.
I dig
Yeah.
it. But if Rude Boy
He's a
gets it
complete
done,
fighter.
second round KO, I feel like. TKO. Because he's not gonna land
I see
clean.
split decision victory for Jack.
Okay. All right. I like it. I like it. But you know, I can't believe we're here. But
Yeah.
we are at the co-main events of the evening. We have none other than La Pantera. Actually, El Pantera, right? Femenino masculino, right? El Pantera, Yair Rodriguez, a guy who, I mean, was one of the most artful strikers with the flippy shit in the UFC, and they fucking still released him after a win, right? But
Yeah.
he's Mexico's on 14-3, Yair Rodriguez, and he's going up against the 18-2 Josh Emmett. Man, oh man, oh man. So let's look at Yair for a second here, right?
Okay.
Um, yeah, 14-3. Let's look at the last couple fights that El Pantera has engaged in. Say, oh yeah, the freak injury with Brian Ortega, right? That happened in July
Yeah.
of last
hmm
year. Win
hmm
over Lil Heathen, Jeremy Stevens. A
Yep.
win over Korean Zombie. Lost
Beautiful.
to Frankie Edgar, but beat BJ Penn, Alex Caceres, Andre Touchy Feely, Dan Hangman Hooker, Charles Boston Trout Rosas, right?
Yep.
That's a pretty fucking good deal, right?
hmm
But he's going up against, to me, I think one of the most underrated fighters that there is fucking Josh Emmett, man. Let's put respect on this guy, right? Josh Emmett, literally, he lost to Jeremy Stevens where Yair didn't, right? But
Right.
theoretically speaking, he's been undefeated since 2019. That's Michael Johnson, KOs, Mirsad Bektik,
Yep.
the famous fight between him and Darren Elkins, right, at
Yep.
UFC 209, right?
Yep.
Has a
Yep.
win over them, TKO.
Yep.
Shane Burgos, unanimous decision. Dan 50K Ige, unanimous decision. Calvin Kaner, split decision win. Fuck, man. I mean, conventional wisdom will say don't pick Josh Emmett, but fuck conventional, man. I got Josh Emmett.
Hmm.
What you say?
They're both extremely dangerous fighters. Yair is dynamic in his striking. You don't know what he's gonna hit you with. What he can knock you out with anything. Anything. He can knock you out literally with anything. Um, but Josh Emmett, he's persistent. He's old school. He's like that 1975 Chevy Camaro. You know what I mean? And it's 2023 and it still runs. That's what Josh Emmett reminds me of. That V8, that good old V8, big block. You know, he brings big power and he's not dynamic, but he understands the game. He understands the game. He's willing to sacrifice his body and damage his body, same as Yair Rodriguez. So this is going to be a very, very high paced match. It's going to be 25 minutes of carnage. Yair is great with his hands and feet, but Josh Emmett is primarily very, very good with his hands. Those who are very, very good with their hands tend to have a better outing. in mixed martial art. He's got great wrestling, so there is no fear of being taken down. This is good. This entire match, for the most part, will be on the feet. Maybe a couple of clinching and grinding it out on the cage a little bit. But I just don't see this match going to the ground. I see both of them uh, uh, putting it all on the line, earning fight of the night. This is the main event, not the next match. This is going to be the main event, and I can't believe I'm picking Josh Emmett as well.
Fuck yes. Welcome to the club, man. I mean, to me, consistency, right? And Josh Emmett, he's not a household name, right? But this is somebody who has literally paid. I mean, not to say that any of the other fighters on this card or any other card, literally your amateur or MMA or regional MMA promotions, right? This happens the world over. But Josh Emmett, like you said, right? He's almost a throwback, right?
Yeah,
Like when I think about him and his fight styles, it's almost like Anthony Smith without the carnage of the John Jones fight, right? Like where John Jones almost fucking kills him, right? Josh Emmett he's a tactician, right? He does the fucking basics well, right?
he
But that's
follows
just
the game plan.
100%. But isn't that what we regard Ric Flair with? Is doing
Yes,
the fucking simple shit and mastering the simple shit, right? And leading it to fucking 16 world titles, right? And you might
yep,
say apples to oranges comparison,
it's the
wrestling
same
to,
thing. It makes
yeah,
sense.
right? So to me, it's mastering the basics. And this is the reason it's no coincidence that Josh Emmett, there might have been different things of what perpetuated this particular opportunity for Emmett, but there's no denying when you look at his record and you seen the fight that he put on and he followed the game plan almost with paint by numbers, right? He's coachable. He's exactly what you want to if you're a coach for a fighter, right? He listens to everything you say. Set a meal plan, set a diet plan, fucking jump on the fucking ice bath. That's before we got on. That's the video that I saw on his social medias is him fucking jumping in an ice bath. This guy knows. He's been a champion mindset way before this fucking co-main event. You know, in Australia no less. Yeah, fucking Emmett, man.
Yeah,
Fucking
he's the
Emmett.
man.
Yes, absolutely.
I
Ryback,
believe. I believe in Josh Emmett.
I do too. Let's believe.
Ryback ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah,
Nick Mac.
he's
He ain't
not
gonna do
great.
shit. He'll get his
Yeah,
ass whooped.
and the game Triple H. Yeah, that's kind of how we play it. It's
He
all about
can't
the
fight
game.
either.
Yeah, no. Imagine if he tore both quads like you did, right? It's
Wasn't
not
that
fun.
Vince that tore both quad trying to slide through the ring?
Yeah, and then fucking Triple H, it was him and Austin against, I feel like it was Jericho and Benoit.
Something like that.
Yeah, and
Blew out
then,
his quad.
he fucking does the sledgehammer to Jericho and just fucking collapses and
Pow!
everything. Yeah, not fun. Not fun. But yeah, so Josh Emmett does everything right. That's why we're gonna do a consensus pick. Josh Emmett is a new interim featherweight champion.
Yep. Tim Alpha Male deserves this.
Hell
They've been working
yes.
pretty
Oh
hard.
man,
They've been
the
consistent.
implications of that. He's Team Alpha. Well, no, Cody was right. Cody was the first Team Alpha Male champ, right? But the thing about it is like there
No,
you who UFC.
CJ, TJ,
Oh yeah, he was still there,
the
right?
Snake,
Yeah, so it was
TJ
TJ.
Dillashaw.
Yeah, it was TJ, Cody,
Yeah,
and what possibly could be Josh Emmett. And
Josh
Josh
Emmett.
Emmett
Yeah.
is, I mean, he's not fighting bantamweight. He's
Hmm.
not facing flyweight. That's a big fucking boy compared to the rest of the dais in Team Alpha Male. So that in itself is kind of a distinction. Should Josh Emmett win and
Mm.
do just like what Voodoo and I are predicting him to do? So yeah, man, I feel like I don't want to jinx it, But
Let's
like,
go, Josh. Go whoop
yeah,
some ass.
I feel fucking good about it. But you know, also what I feel good about is the main events of the evening. We have it's a title versus title fight, but this only happening for the 155-pound world title in the UFC. We have Alexander Volkanovski, the Great, 25-1, going up against Islam Makhachev. So Volk literally hasn't lost since 2013, right? And that was a regional Australian promotion called Australian FC5, right? Where he loses to Corey Nelson. I wonder what Corey Nelson is doing now. But since then, just in the UFC, right? He's got like literally a dozen fights outside of the UFC, but he makes his UFC debut against Yusuke Kasuya, right? And then
Yusuke.
beats, yeah, Usuke, right? No,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, beats him, beats Miz, Mizoto Hirota, right?
Mm-hmm.
Via unanimous decision. The affirmation Shane Young gets beaten by Alexander Volkanovski via unanimous decision. Uh, Jeremy Kennedy, Darren Elkins, KO's Chad Mendez beats one of the all-time featherweight greatest of all time,
Mm-hmm.
Jose Aldo. Also,
Mm-hmm.
Max Holloway twice,
Three
right?
times.
Was it three times? Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
was. It was two
Yeah.
back to back, and then the one right after
The
Korean
first
Zombie.
two were questionable. That
Right.
last one was just a
Yeah,
fucking
that's it.
toe tagging.
I was on the fence with Volk up until that, and I feel like the shit talking that Ortega did to him really broke him out of his shell, right? And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it was almost like a fucking like sticking your foot into cold water, and all the fucking chills run up your spine, and you know how close you are to death.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that was. So
Hey,
fucking
I was thinking, man, I was thinking like, damn, why I hate this fool so much?
yeah,
This Volkanovski fella. Why? I can't stand his ass.
right.
It's his commentary, his mic skills is terrible.
Yeah, it is. They're
Terrible. But if you can put that aside and look at his body of work, man, the man deserves a little respect. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta go out of my way and just he's impressed me
yeah,
with his constant evolution and improvement. And it's not easy to evolve with this sport at the speed that it changes. It's always changing. The sport is always changing. Somehow, this little son of a gun always finds a way to do something different by doing exactly the same thing, but he's doing something different. Exactly the same thing, but it's different. He finds a way to adapt his basic skills in such a way that it looks brand new, but it's the same thing. It's the same exact fundamental thing that he's always done, but he always finds a way to apply it and make things work and look brand new. Volkanovski, man, shout out to you, man. Hats off to you. Keep evolving, keep doing what you're doing. Um, Shout out, man. Most definitely. Shout out. Keep working on that mic skill. Once you master that, stratosphere is next. But the mic skills gotta come very soon before
yeah.
you fall out of your what do you call it? Your
Perch.
prime. Before
Yeah,
you fall out of your prime, So
yeah. I, after Ortega, I really got bought what the fuck Volk was selling, because again, those two Holloway fights, I thought they were flukes, and then he silenced all the doubters and the detractors in that third fight, and in between that, that was like fucking Ortega and Aldo. So I'm just saying, that's as legit as it gets, right?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Obviously, we got to talk about Islam Makhachev. Makhachev, 23-1. He's only lost once, and I think that was in the UFC. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. It was against Adriano Martins, and that was back in 2015, right?
KO.
Yeah, but Chris Wade, Nick the Carney Lens, Gleason Tebow, uh, Armin Sarukian, Davi Ramos, Drew Dober, Thiago Moises, Dan Hooker, uh, Bobby Green, Charles Oliveira. That's, I mean, there's some Hall of Famers right, in that. Just in Oliveira, you could make the argument for uh, not so much Lentz. Maybe one Hall of Famer, Gleason Tebow is an old school guy. You know, he's beat some people, right? But theoretically speaking, if like basically he's gonna wrestle fuck you, right? That's what he's gonna do. That's the
Mm-hmm.
Dagestani way. That's the Russian way, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if Volkanovski shows his improvement on wrestling, which he's improved quite a bit since the first time that we saw him in the UFC, Volk could go down as literally one of the greatest of all time. And he's already there. But Makachev is such a machine, right? You know,
Mm-hmm.
a disciple of Habib and his father, right? So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if this is Volkanovski's biggest threat to the championship, and if he comes away with this, right, we got to put him in that fucking like all time greatest you know list of fighters and everything like that. We can't deny him anymore of his ability. But again, to get that acumen, to get those accolades, that's a real tough customer in Makachev. Like you have to really fucking work on your sprawls and your takedown defense because Makachev is just gonna want to take you to the ground. So I believe
Uh,
in Volk. I believe in Volk.
uh,
What say you?
uh, I'm not ready to start talking about greatest of all time type stuff with
Okay.
Makachev. Not just yet. Not just yet. Uh, Look at his body of work, man. Like, I mean, these guys are great and all, but okay, let's go back to the beginning of his UFC career. He started off with Chad Wade, don't know. Nikki Lentz, okay, Nikki, I remember Nikki. Glisson Tebow was already on his way out anyway. Kajan Johnson, who's that? An impressive fight is Armin Tarukian. I love that dude. That dude is bad. And a unanimous decision, he out wrestled that fella. He didn't beat him up. He just out wrestled him. The dude walked out of there with a clean face. You know, he was just tired. Davi Ramos, who's that? Don't know. Drew Dober is a bottom 15 guy, right? Thiago Moses, he's down there too, right? Dan Hooker, he's down there too. Bobby Green, what is Bobby Green a top 15? We love Bobby Green, but is he a top 15? That's the question. Yes, he did beat Charles Oliveira. He caught him slipping and put him in the arm triangle. Yes, but I'm not sold yet. I'm not so like I was not sold with Khabib. I'm not sold on him yet. Khabib is not a greatest of all time. He's not even in that conversation. I think BJ Penn was way better than Khabib. Yes, Khabib was undefeated, but there's more to mixed martial art than being an outlier in wrestling. These two fellas are outliers in wrestling. I don't see them as great mixed martial artists. I see them as great wrestlers. People don't have an answer. Kind of like how Hoist Gracie was in the beginning, right? People didn't have an answer. They weren't sure how to go about going against this fella with his pajamas on and using his pajamas to choke people out and all that. But once they figure out, look what Sakuraba did to him. Sakuraba clowned him. He used his pajamas to dump him on his head, and he just abused him. The next time that you saw Hoist Gracie after that, he never wore that gi top ever again. You know, it became a weapon that was used against him, so he never wore it again. I believe Dagestani wrestling is the same thing. People haven't figured out what it is that they're doing yet. I mean, you're looking at it, but you just don't quite understand. Excuse me. But the secret is in the chain wrestling. The chain. The transitions. This is where the Dagestanis excel in the transition. They stay in such a good shape that They out transition everyone. And once they lock you down, they don't let you up. Volkanovski, will he be able to keep up in the transition? I'm not sure. He is in great shape, but he's given off a lot of weight. When they get in there, I believe Islam should be a good 175 pounds to 180 pounds, while Volkanovski will probably be in the 70. Right, the reach advantage will be there. The strength advantage will be for Islam. I just don't think Alexander is ready for this kind of power and transition. He's gonna smother the hell out of him. Will this make it out of the third round? Depends on how tough Volkanovski is. He's a tough fella, but I don't know if he's skilled enough in wrestling to keep up with this this Dagestani fella. You said Volk, right? I would love Volk to win, but I would love to see him hold 2 belts. But I just don't think it's gonna happen. Unless he scores a flash knockout and gets him out of there like that. I just don't see it happening. I see Volkanovski getting submitted in the third round.
I just kind of, in my head, to see Volk succeed in where
it'll be great. I would love to see it.
Where Izzy couldn't. That's a big win for City Kickboxing.
He's definitely good enough to do it.
Yeah.
He's got what it takes. I just don't think Islam will make any mistakes.
I don't know. That's the thing. That's the variable. We will see. And and what you're trying to say is so Voodoomaximus, that don't impress me much, right?
That don't impress me much.
You got the
Shania
looks.
Twain? Is that what who?
Yeah, when she was dressed like a leopard. And all the people were passing her by, and whatever. So there you go. And Volkanovski could be UFC's Roman Reigns.
I guess he will have to force people to acknowledge him
and use the low blow. That's what I say. Fucking low blow. Yeah,
gonna have to do something.
You know what? But you know what doesn't hit below the belt is following Voodoomaximus. Where can people do such a thing?
Definitely on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook page, and Twitter. Voodoomaximus on all handle. Let's go.
Yes. And I'm According to Woods, where you can find a link tree on any one of my social medias and, puts it right there. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter is where you can get the Principal Podcast, but also being simulcast by bodyslam.net. So Mari Yamasaki said bodyslam.net. You guys are awesome. And thank you guys for joining us, man. You guys are tremendous. Like, share, and subscribe in all of the places because, we're good for it. And we will see you later with more Voodoo in the Woods.